Welcome to the CWC Podcast with your host, David Selby, Justin Reed, and Andy Horton.
All right, here we go. All right, welcome to the CWC Podcast, the home for the latest news, rumors, and interviews around the sport of chuckwagon racing. I'm your host, David Selby, and I'm joined by my beautiful co-hosts, Justin Reed and Andy Horton. We have Savannah in the producer's alley as well today. How's it going, guys? How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
I am alive.
Yeah, you're steaming a little bit. I know last week, even in the moments leading up to the show, for anybody who didn't see the show last week, we were trying to get on with Andy, but he was like, "Hey, there are fires around and near my home, and we're gonna have to get outside and form a Red Rover wall and prevent that from coming in."
Yeah.
And so tell us a little bit about what happened. How'd everything transpire? I guess things are still there.
Oh yeah. I mean, it wasn't near as a close call as maybe was thought, or maybe we portrayed, but I mean, it was about a mile upwind of us, but it was like 45 mile an hour wind. So if it got out of control, then I mean, it could have been here in 20 minutes. I mean, at that wind, I mean, you're looking at possibly 200 foot plus spread rate, or 200 foot a minute plus spread rate. So we saw the fire. We knew where it was. We saw an opportunity. It was kind of in some timber. It was burning slow at the moment, and it was headed for a field. And we decided to just go up there and jump in front of it and disc up a fire break and just knock it out in that spot. And the fire department was already up there, dealing with it. And so we just lent a hand and just headed it off before it became a bigger problem than it needed to be.
Yeah. And for clarity, disking break would be like throwing plow discs behind a tractor kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So just
tear up the ground, tear up
right.
so it's dirt and not grass.
Exactly.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy stuff. I have a weird memory of whenever I was a kid out in Kansas. Kansas is a windy state, and I was driving, I was in the back seat of a pickup. My dad and my Uncle Monty were driving to wherever we were going between a relative's home, and we saw this farmer that was burning some grass in his field, and it just got away from him, and we just happened to be going by, and I remember them jumping out and grabbing shovels and all kinds of stuff and just trying to slow this thing down. And every time the wind would pick up, you'd just be like, there's nothing they can do,
No.
And then, you see all this stuff that's coming out now on social media, and you just see people, kind of like people with tornadoes. There's one coming at them and they're like, I better record this instead of save myself.
Right.
This could be important. Could get a lot of views, but yeah, man, you're just seeing this stuff come out now, and it's crazy. So I feel for you, and yeah, that was just one of those moments where, I decided that it was cool for you to take a show off and deal with the fire that might take over your area there. But glad to hear things are good, man. That can be scary stuff, and it can get out of hand so quickly. So I totally feel you. Justin, you seem to have been in a safe place the past week.
Absolutely. I actually bought a new camper on Thursday.
You bought a camper?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So
I'm jealous.
Took the camper up to Heber for the weekend to give it a nice little test run and get it all figured out, worked out. So yeah, it was all good. And
did you get a pop-up guy, or did you get
it's nice.
big guy?
No, I got a 34 foot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it a gooseneck or is it a bumper pole?
No, it's a bumper pole.
How does your truck like that?
Well, it didn't come with sway bar, so it's a little sketchy.
Okay,
but
gosh,
hopefully when I get the sway bar installed, that won't be as bad.
Yeah,
but
man,
otherwise, my truck didn't have a problem pulling it.
I've been looking hard at campers. I just look at them. I can't really get one right now, probably because all the other stuff we're doing, we're trying to get into this building that Savannah and I are actively working in as office space and studio space. And so the goal is to buy that thing in the next couple months. And so naturally there's a lot of expenses. There's a down payment. There's all those things. And then just everything going on makes it hard. But I really want to make that next step where I have a camper to pull behind my truck and go to these races and not be, hitting a hotel every single time. But I also I have a Ram 1500, and so you can really do so much with what you throw on the bumper on that thing. And I see these guys, which might be Justin now, that are coming down the highway with something a little heavier than what your suspension is enjoying. And I'm just like, oh man, I can't imagine if I was pushing my suspension down to where like the nose of your truck is up, and tell me if this is you, Justin, but the nose of the truck is up a little bit and the back is down a little bit. And I'm just like, I just know that that's probably not fun on the suspension.
Yeah. Just so.
Oh yeah.
That's nice.
Your truck seems to be like kissing the ground a little bit in the back there.
It does the job.
The suspension stops going down at some point and it keeps it off the ground.
Yeah,
it's just, it's all metal.
Right. Right.
That's fun. That's cool, man. I'm jealous. I really want to get into something, and really as much for anything. I just want to be able to take the kids and, be able to bring Miranda and our dogs too.
Oh yeah.
I've already tried the extreme in one direction. I had that 38-foot motorhome, and that thing was an absolute wallet, bank account draining, life sucking thing. And so I don't have that anymore. And now I'm like, I'm thinking the same thing, right? I'm like, man, I don't want to. That's part of the logistical problem with getting me to a race. Even is like, where are we going to put me? And so I'm thinking about that again. I'm like, well, what do I do? Do I do something, moderately in between somewhere? Do I find some little trailer or something I can pull with my little truck, or do I go the extreme in the other direction? Like I had a good buddy out here the other day, and he was building a rack on the back of his pickup truck that he was putting one of those rooftop tent things on.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a hard case, and it accordions out to like a full size bed basically. And I thought, you're doing without a lot of amenities when you do that. Like,
right.
That's hard maybe not hard, but it's not necessarily comfortable.
Yeah. I can't really look at one without like knowing that there will be a shower and a toilet and things of that nature, because traveling with wife and kids and all that.
Well, with me, it's just me.
Yeah.
So
you normally poop out. I couldn't even finish saying that. You normally poop outside.
What am I, a bear now?
Oh man. Anyways, today we will be talking about news and notes from around the sport of chuckwagon racing, and our special guest is part of that conversation. Whitney Bearden specializes in Liberty horse training, and she is going to be presenting at the Whiskey Ridge chuckwagon races when we get into Memorial Day weekend. So we're excited to learn more about Liberty horse training as we bring her on today, and as we get ready for this year's races to start kicking off, which is next week. So it's all coming up on the CWC podcast today. Stick around. And if you tuned in last week, you already know about the newest segment of our show, Precipitating Profanity with Justin Reed. It is the newest and most exciting segment on the show. Some would say we've gone viral because of this segment, and we are really enjoying it. So we're hitting it in week 2, or we've done it once. So as my wife would say, always. If you've done something once, you do it always. Like I always forget to feed the dogs, or I always forget to close the garage door. So anyways, Justin, I want you to take it away, man.
Yeah, of course. So I don't know if anybody's been watching the local news. We do have a large scale, severe.
We have a phone call. We have a large scale phone call coming in. Hopefully a good thing. Uh-oh.
That's our guy in the field.
We got a nader. We got a nader down.
No.
We got a touchdown.
No, but so we do have a large scale system rolling in this weekend. It is going to most likely be here Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday during the day, Sunday evening, and Monday it'll be rolling out. But everybody, by the look of the models and everything, which I'll show you here shortly.
Now that time frame is for Arkansas. Is this correct?
Yes.
So you can step that up for where I'm at. It's going to be earlier.
Yeah, we'll probably have snow in Missouri.
Yeah, probably an earthquake. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right. Hold on one second. Just got to choose which screen.
Wind blowing from east to west.
Why not? Yeah.
All right. So,
Ooh.
let me get
We're
this.
not paying for this, Justin.
I know. All right. Sorry about that. So, as you can
Just
see,
flexing.
this right here is the most unstable cape, which
Can't say
basically indicates, one of the main things that a severe thunderstorm will need is cape. It also needs wind shear and humidity and things like that to help fuel a severe thunderstorm that is capable of producing hail, strong winds, tornadoes, things like that. So this is going to be that cape, as you can see.
Like a superhero cape?
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
So it rolls in Friday night, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday. This is Sunday. And you can see that orange and red gets in there. That's going to be, one of those key indicators for severe weather. This right here is the bulk shear. Now, as you can tell at the front of this is going to be Monday, rolling into Tuesday, and then, hold on one second. As you can see, Saturday, that shear comes in this way, and then we also have shear coming in from the Gulf, which is going to create that instability because you have a lot of wind shear coming in. That's going to be those strong winds that it needs, as well as we're going to talk a little bit about the humidity. So the humidity is green right here. That's good. And then when that blue comes in into Arkansas on Sunday, that's going to be that high humidity that storm needs. Okay. And then we also want to talk about dew point. So the dew point, as you see on Sunday, is going to reach up to 64, 65 degree dew point. Those are high dew points. That is also helps with that humidity. That's what that storm needs as well. And then we want to look at the supercell composite. This is basically saying that these are all the ingredients together. This is what creates that high probability. Now, you may see at the beginning, it's going to show Texas and Oklahoma. And you may say, why is Texas and central and western Oklahoma not getting the brunt of it? Well, that's because there's too much wind shear coming in, and there's not enough humidity coming in from the Gulf to Oklahoma. So that's why they will receive probably some severe weather, but it's not going to be what Arkansas is going to see this weekend. The timeline obviously will be more updated as we get closer to time. But other than that, on Friday, I would say the high temperature is 78, low is 60.
This Friday?
This coming Friday. Yep.
Yeah, this Friday.
Saturday is going to be high of 79, low of 62, and Sunday is going to be high of 80 and low of 51. For the majority of the weekend, you'll have clear skies, sunny, and then some storms rolling in on Saturday and Sunday. And again, they're calling for an outbreak of severe thunderstorms with possibility of hail, damaging winds, and supercells that could produce tornadoes. So stay weather aware. And those that want me to keep in touch with them, I know a couple of people have reached out that they don't watch the news or they don't get the news. If you have any questions, feel free to message me, call me, let me know where you are so I can keep you updated. I'm going to keep an eye on this all weekend.
What's the threshold that we have to meet for private messages?
I know,
to where you just say, you know what? I'm going to put this baby on live stream and I'm going to talk. I will be with you through the storm, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I probably could do that, but I don't know that a lot of people would be that interested in it. See, here's the problem, okay? Everybody that watches this, that watches anything, anybody that even has a storm pop up on them, they think that it's not possible, that they won't get a tornado, that it's overhyped, that whatever the case may be. Well, let me tell you, folks, it is very rare for the National Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center to forecast out 8 days in advance that there is going to be a high probability of severe weather. They did that this week. 8 days out, they predicted there is going to be a mass area of severe weather. So it's something to keep an eye on. Take it seriously. And
it's life and death.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. It's life and death. You definitely need to message Justin and make sure that you build that list, because when we hit 10 people, he's going to have a live show and we're going to do this thing.
Yeah, there we go.
And when I say we, I mean, it's him. I won't be there. I'll probably be doing something else that day. But
he won't even be watching it.
I mean, the weather's different here usually. So, but when the time comes and severe weather is rolling in, you know where I'm getting my instant weather news is from Justin.
Well, hold on one second now.
I mean, what time of year was it that Joplin got hit?
Yeah, it was this time.
May. It was May.
I know.
Yeah, and not only
today's March 26th.
Not only that,
recording.
But I am telling you this. They are saying, like I said last week, they are saying that this is going to be a higher probability of tornadoes for this weather season, for this tornado season. There's going to be a very large probability of those tornadoes. And David said that Missouri is not really going to be in it, right?
I didn't say that.
No, he said it's different. Look at that.
It's just different.
Oh, look at that.
I said my hot take based on my radar that I'm looking at. It looks like snow. What? No, that's just a picture of snow. That's not it. That's just a picture of snow. Sorry.
Yeah, look at that. That looks like y'all are going to be probably in the categorization of that severe weather.
I look at these as like, how many miles do I need to go in a different direction to get away from it? So if I go about 40 miles west, I'm good. Right?
You just got to go for the weekend.
Just however long I got to do it and get out of the way. And that it's another good case for not getting a camper.
Well,
Twisters suck those things up, I hear.
You can't always think it that way, though.
Well, I better keep pushing here. We got our special guest waiting in the lobby. But thank you, Justin, for not as much profanity as usual, but a good weather segment with weatherman Justin Reed.
Damn right.
So we're gonna follow up with our weather next weekend. Mark your calendars if you haven't already. We're going to be in Sparkman, Arkansas. We've got the cow cutter Chuckwagon races. Michael and Cecilia Barry have a lot in store for you guys. This is going to be the first points race of the year, the first race of the year, period. And my sources tell me that they have already got 69 teams signed up as of this morning, and I think that they were around 72 or so last year. So that's a good place to be. We know everybody's going to be chomping at the bit to race after having Loretta Lynn's moved back due to flooding. So exciting stuff. Excited to see the wagon barrel race, which I've been corrected that it's been done. Thank you, Andy. And
you're welcome.
We know that this has been done before, but it doesn't change the fact that it's going to be exciting. It'll be the first time we've seen it down there.
It's going to be cool.
And I did get a picture from Michael Barry of the belt buckles that came in. I don't think they posted it on socials. If they did, I missed it, but they look really cool. They have kind of in their logo, they've got like the orange and the blue incorporated into their buckles. And so more incentive for Full Throttle Loca, who has the same colors flying on their tarp. Hopefully they'll get it done this year. Last year, they thought they got it done. We did an interview. They thought they had won. Some would say it was embarrassing. Janet Priscilla and Cindy Wheeler calling you out. You got to go get it done this year so we can use last year's interview when you thought you won it, and we'll just use it as this year's instead. So make sure you guys check out Cow Cutter next weekend, April 5th and 6th. It's going to be a good weekend. All right, so let's jump into it here. There's always news coming out in the Chuckwagon community. One piece that came up the other day was about Whitney Bearden coming to the Whiskey Ridge Chuckwagon races to talk about Liberty horse training. It's a discipline that I'm not particularly familiar with. And it was new to me to learn about this, but it's really a method that utilizes or emphasizes communication, trust, and connection without all the traditional use of like tack and halters, lead ropes, bridles, etc. And it's about building a partnership where the horse chooses to engage with the handler. So really interesting stuff. And she'll be doing a freestyle type routine with music and theme. It'll be a mix of Liberty horsemanship, Liberty off a ridden horse and possibly some bridleless riding. So should be good stuff. I'm assuming that's in the arena, but we're going to bring her on. We're going to let her talk a little bit, and we're going to find out more about it. And especially Andy and Justin, I expect you guys are going to have a couple of questions, being that you guys grew up around this stuff a little bit more than I did. But yeah, let's jump into it. She in the waiting room there?
Yep.
All right. Hey, all right. Whitney, how are you?
Good. How are you?
We're doing great. I guess we should do some quick introductions here. David Selby here, Justin Reed down here with the weather radar, and Andy Horton over here with the river. Is it the river flowing in the background there?
Oh yeah, we're in the mountains. Didn't you know?
He's in the mountains today. He's got a nice virtual setup there. Don't be fooled. It's not real.
Oh, come on, man. Don't.
Sorry, I had to sell you out early. Don't want her to be duped into thinking that she's in a bigger production than it really is here. We're all in different states and separate places. And we heard about what you're doing through Cindy Wheeler. She's excited to have you down there. And I thought it would be really neat to have you come on the show and talk a little bit. So I just kind of informed our listeners, which we're recording. We're not live. This will be edited. If you cuss too much like Justin does, then we can edit some of that out later. But we want to let you have the floor for a second to talk a little bit about Liberty horse training and kind of that discipline, and just kind of inform us a little bit more about it.
Well, I just got hooked on it. I started teaching my horses tricks when I was a lot younger, about 14. I got my first horse, and I was going to train him from the ground up, but he was too young to ride. I had to wait a few years to ride him. It all comes from horses that you see in movies and, on screen. That's kind of where I got the idea of it. And I started online searching it and found, different videos and tried to recreate what I was, seeing. And I just feel like it brings, a closer relationship with that horse, and you learn how to break down simple tasks or, bigger tasks, break it down simple to where the horse can understand it. That all was a process for me. It took some time to kind of learn everything. And here recently, I was doing Liberty, not really knowing what it was. I've seen circus horses, that's where I first seen it, and then specialty acts and rodeos. And I think the ILHA is the International Liberty Horse Association. That is like a fantastic idea. It's kind of bringing it all to life where everybody can come and show, and from the very bottom, they have lead line classes, all the way up to advanced, bridleless. You can use multiple horses. Usually we have patterns set up, and you'll do a certain pattern and you get a score for each maneuver that you do. I've tried to take my halter off and see what I can get them to do, and it's just kind of grown. I used to barrel race, and that's what I did most of my life, and I don't know, I just love it. Yeah.
So I'm curious to know, with there being an actual I guess a designation or a discipline named Liberty Horse Training, I guess, if I'm saying that right. What is the difference, or what would be the thing that sets that apart from, say, somebody who's very passionate about just working closely with their animal, using using words or using signs to just really connect with maybe or being disengaged from, reins and bridles and things of that nature? What's the real difference that sets this apart from that? Or would you say that somebody that is very in tune with their animal, maybe they'd be considered a Liberty, or however that's classified?
I don't think there's really much difference from discipline like reining or cutting. I guess would be taking the halter off and letting the horses learn from their mistakes. Sorry.
So
you're fine.
This is how ignorant I am to what this is. When I first heard David say Liberty Horse Training, I didn't even know if this was a discipline as a whole or if this was a business name or what this was. So I had literally no clue about it at
Yes,
all.
it's becoming a discipline. Now we have competitions. We can do it, virtually, which is what I started. I did it a couple years virtually. I just started going to live shows. They're few and far between, so it usually takes some driving to get there.
Sure.
It's cool. Well, I would like to know a little bit more about what we can expect when we go to Malvern this year and you do your routine. So that won't be a competition. This will be more of a presentation. So kind of explain what that will be like.
So generally I will have some music playing. I'll do a theme and I'll go out and I'll just pretty much just show off some of my maneuvers and tricks in between. You'll see some liberty from a ridden horse, which I'll have a horse that's completely tacked up, bridle and everything. And then I'll have my liberty horse who will be loose, completely loose, no halter, nothing on him. And I'll maneuver him around my ridden horse and, several of his different tricks. And then also if I go bridleless, I may not, but if I go bridleless, I usually will have a neck rope on them and bareback.
Okay.
So on the
that's kind of styles are competition. It's usually about 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. You can go out there and do your routine.
So comparable to the kind of time limit you would expect on like a reining pattern, something like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
In competition, the time will start when you start moving props into the arena. Let me kind of quit getting it in and out.
Oh, okay.
So on the horses that you train for the Liberty, do you have you ever ridden them, or do you find it more difficult for ones that have been ridden before, or is it easier?
Well, for me, I've just done my own horses. I have one that was ridden before I got him, and he is the most difficult. I don't know if it really had much to do with that. I think it was just him. The ones that are more difficult teaching the Liberty are the ones that have been lunged a lot. It's hard to kind of switch that in their minds, because we do a lot of Liberty circles around the handler and things like that.
Would you say a lot of the horse training that you do is a lot of it where you are 2 feet on the ground working with the horse?
A lot of it, yes.
And so I think I'm understanding this right. So part of it also, or maybe the more advanced part of it, is when you actually get onto the horse and you're not using reins, et cetera, as well. Is that kind of also part of the competition, is being able to be sitting on the horse and then be kind of using words or signals, or how does that work?
Ultimately, the goal would be to get on the horse and have nothing. No neck rope, no cue sticks, nothing. Just your body language and your verbal cues. Mm-hmm. I'm not there yet.
Okay.
I still use a neck rope.
So is there a prime age for a horse to start this type of training, or is it just, you can do it on any age?
Not necessarily. The much older seniors, I would think, you obviously wouldn't want to do anything with them that they can't physically do, like laying down, bowing, rearing. I personally would prefer a younger horse, 2 and under to start, because you can kind of teach them how to learn, and they retain it a lot quicker, a lot faster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have Justin's kind of he's hitting on stuff. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I got a little pony. And he's not yet 2, and he still has a lot of work to go. But he was catching on so quickly. He sits, he lays down. I've got a roll up cue, which is you tickle their wither and they roll up on their backs, and I can kind of hold them there. He rears, he does a Spanish walk, and he's starting the Liberty now. So we can kind of walk circles around me, restrictions, come up to my shoulder and back up.
I can't even get my 4-year-old child to do those things. I think that's pretty awesome that you're doing that with an equine.
Yeah.
So I see where this is all going, though, and I want you to know I'm with you. Wink, wink. When we get some of these horses pulling some chuck wagons with no lines or anything, that's when things are going to get real cool.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Just tell them to go. Pull me around the track.
What could possibly go wrong? So yeah, Justin was kind of hitting all around something that I've been trying to figure out how to ask or put into words or how to say. So he was talking about, like, is there a good age to start him at, or is it better with one that's been ridden or not? And I think really what that makes me think is, if you get one, like they have to unlearn a lot of stuff that maybe isn't as applicable to the Liberty method versus one that's used to being cued by other means. They have to learn to not wait for that or not be looking for that.
Right. Yes. I have seen some, other trainers that may have been, doing this a lot longer than I have, or whatever the case, that have completely started their colts at Liberty as, like, get on them at, right off the bat with nothing. I'm not sure that I'm going to do that, but I'm scared of being
That's
bucked
so
off,
interesting.
y'all.
It does not feel good. I can tell you.
I don't bounce.
Is that
when I got
Yep,
started
I feel
doing
that.
barrel horse, he was 10 years old, took him off a barrel, started playing with this, and I knew there was going to be a time that he got spooked and he ran off and I went flying. I remember when it happened, I almost got back on, y'all. I started to fall, I started to catch my balance, and then I lost it. And he bucked, and I flipped and landed on my back like, okay, now how am I going to get back on through this again?
Wow.
But I did.
Wow.
Like, kind of lost some of my pride there, but
It'll do it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, that will do it.
yes, sir.
So have you ever been to a chuckwagon race?
Well, last year was my first time. I've seen it on TV and stuff, but me and my husband decided not even maybe an hour away. We decided to come check it out for the day and brought my 6-year-old boy to ride the little sheep. And there was so much going on. I really enjoyed it. It was something different that we could come and see, and there's a lot of action and everything. So I thought this would be a great place for me to come and perform and kind of get my horses used to that more excitement going on around them.
Yeah, that's awesome. That sounds like it'll be a neat and kind of like a variety piece for sure for them, something that's diverse from the rest of what goes on down there. And, it's something that we'll definitely jump over there and get a few clips of what you're doing and kind of share that. And we're looking forward to seeing you present, is what I keep on coming back to. You're not competing, you're presenting. You're presenting, you're doing a routine, and I think it's going to be a cool thing to see. I think that people that can work with animals, and especially people that can work with children, I'm really interested with them. But people that can kind of work with animals and find a way to communicate through a means of words and actions, and not have to be what's the word I'm looking for? Not violent, but just to be able to have that relationship. I'm super fascinated by that. So I think it'll be really cool to see what you're doing. And I bet you there are other people that will come up to you and ask you a lot of questions when you're finished. So, yeah, is there anything else that we'll give you the floor? We'll give you the floor to kind of say your last 2 words to our audience and maybe give them a little bit of information, what to expect, and then we'll let you get out of here.
Hi guys. I'm really excited to come and visit the Whiskey Ridge Ranch and do a special performance with 2 of my horses. We'll be showcasing a routine with some of my Liberty work. I'm saying quite a bit. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I'll have
At least you don't cuss as much as Justin.
I'll have some different props in my arena that some may or may not have seen. So get ready. I'm excited to come and show everybody.
Awesome.
It's awesome, Whitney. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us today, and thanks for sharing your routine when we get down to Malvern. I think it's 2 performances. Is that correct?
Yes. I know Thursday night before the Whiskey Barrel Race, and the other one is, I think, Saturday morning, maybe Sunday morning. Not really sure. I'll have to double check on that one.
Yeah, that's ringing a bell. I feel like she had said, she might have even sent it to me. I think it's going to be, I might be able to help you out here. Maybe I don't have it on here. I remember she said Thursday, and then I think it was before one of the race days. I think it may be Saturday. But yeah, I think you're right.
And I'm hoping that on my second performance, I'm going to kind of feel my horse's energy, but I'm hoping to present something new that I haven't done in front of anybody before. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they feel right, and I'm going to try to go for that.
Okay.
Very cool. Well, Whitney, we are excited to see you down there at Malvern. It'll be Memorial Day weekend. Make sure you don't miss it. That's just one of the many, many things that they have going on at that event. Whitney, again, thanks for coming on the show, and we appreciate your time again, and we look forward to seeing you.
Thank you for having me.
Definitely something new for me.
Oh, yeah, me too. I had no clue what that was.
It was like total learning experience. Like, don't sound stupid. Don't sound stupid, David. Don't say the wrong thing.
You kind of put that off on me and Justin, and I'm sitting here going, I don't know anything about this.
That's why.
Could have been just like me and
co-hosts.
asked, simple questions.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
I felt like that's what you were trying to ask. I mean, to an extent, and I was trying to figure out, because I was like, man, I know we're aiming in the same direction here, but I was like, I know there's got to be the right words to actually say that. Yeah. And I couldn't. I don't know that I found them either, but I tried to hit as close as I could.
Well, I figured, our listeners are smart enough to know.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we already know about Liberty horse training. You guys are stupid.
Yeah.
So,
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. Pretty much everything on our show is stuff that they can look up on Google, like the weather and what Liberty horse training is. But you know what? We're going to put it out there anyways, because we like it. We're enjoying it. So, just to reiterate, make sure you guys check out Whitney Bearden's performance down there. She'll be performing twice at Malvern, and I think that'll be something that we try to get over and get some clips of too, just to kind of share. So heads up. I thought it was kind of interesting. I didn't want to say the wrong thing, but it was like kind of going through my head is like, how does this compare? I should just asked her, how does this compare to like show dogs and stuff? Like, just you see like how smart animals really are whenever you actually work with them. And I just wonder, she said, yeah, I do. And I don't know what the intellectual capacity of a horse is compared to a dog either. Personally, I don't know. I mean,
probably
Andy,
a lot smarter.
Yeah. I'm going to say, yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I've seen some super smart dogs, but, but horses are really smart.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, and it's cool to hear that, that it's becoming a bigger and bigger thing. They've got, an actual association now for the Liberty Horse Association, and we'll probably hear about it more. Who knows? Maybe we'll make a like video channel for Liberty, the Liberty Horse Channel. Right. That'll be the next one.
Yeah.
Spinoff. Cool. Well, that pretty much covers what we had today. Any other thoughts on Liberty Horse Training? You guys, anything else that resonated with you there?
I don't know. I have this preconceived notion in my mind as to like maybe because I really have no idea what we're going to witness there. But this, like these acts that you see at like these large, like rodeos and stuff, where they come out and the horse is like super smart, knows all these tricks and stuff. And it kind of it gets almost comical. Like they look like they're kind of like thwarting their trainer or something, like that's the kind of thing. And I may be like completely off. Like I may be nowhere, near what's actually what it's all about, but we'll see,
I think
that's kind of what comes
I think
to
you're
mind.
pretty close.
Well, and she left us with like the cliffhanger there. She's like, I'm going to do something that I've never done before.
I know, right? That she's never seen before, I think is what she said.
What is it, Whitney?
Right.
Tell me.
Just going to have to go and watch.
Her horse is going to juggle. That's what's going to happen. Yeah. And
he's got just as good as odds as I do. We'll say.
Yeah.
Planet of the Apes, Planet of the Equine. They'll take over.
Next movie.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's pretty much what we've got for the show today. Again, next weekend we're going to have the cow cutter Chuckwagon races. We're going to be getting down there into Sparkman. We'll be there for the weekend. Justin's going to be sharing with us what the weather is going to be looking like as we get a little closer to time. Tune in next week. We will have a show where we hit on the matchups and bring some more information to you guys. That's what we have to look forward to. So thanks for tuning in. We're recording today, March 26th. It's a Wednesday, so we'll have this out to everybody on Thursday and Friday this week. We're looking forward to jumping into the first race week next week. So make sure you're around and make sure to subscribe and relive the ride at chuckwagonchannel.com. Have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for tuning in, supporting what we do, and we'll see you out on the track.
Thanks for listening to the CWC Podcast.